I don't say this often, but I wish I never read this. I can deal with crime, but this is just pure evil. Was thinking the same. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream, the first ever live stream here on the staircase, the very first, and first of many, I must say. Of course, I got Trevor right here with me. So, we're going to be doing something really cool today, and I appreciate everyone tuning in, whether you're watching now or in the past, or excuse me, in the future, rather, with the video on demand. I appreciate it. So, I thought it would be cool to dive into true crime cases. I'm working on my next documentary. If you're new around here, I do true crime. This is a true crime podcast that turned into documentaries, and we do all sorts of stuff here. Everything true crime and conspiracy. I'm your half host, Nico, on the Staircase, and Nathan, my cousin, the co-founder of Staircase Stories. He's got some other stuff to do today, so I'm doing it solo. I'm your half host, as you say. But before we get into it, I just want to explain something for anyone that's new around here. We cover all things true crime and conspiracy. My last documentary was very well received in the true crime community about Deidre Week, the 11-year-old girl that was basically murdered, a hit and run, left on the side of the road like a dead animal. But that was my first, not my first documentary, my first documentary on true crime. I'm researching my next true crime case right now, so I thought it would be kind of cool, instead of doing it, just privately, I figured it would be kind of cool to do it now, do a deep dive, not only finding my next case, but also showing you a variety of other true crime stories where I get it on Reddit. So we're going to be going through a bunch of true crime stuff. And basically showing you from the back end how I do this, my research and finding a case, doing FOIA requests, which is Freedom of Information, all my stuff here. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And we may do some reaction stuff. And then I know Nexpo. Also, I have OCD, so if you see me do certain twitches and stuff, that's what that is. So just ignore it. Yeah, Nexpo has a new video, so I may jump into that. Take a look at that. Before we move forward, I just want to check the live stream here. I want to make sure we're all good with the levels. Stuff. That's what that is. So just... Alright, all good. Sorry about that, folks. I don't want to do a whole live stream, okay? And my audio's fucking frozen or some shit. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm really excited about this. Go to the next scene. Alright. So, that's me. And so this is just, there's actually a case that I do want to look at that looks very intriguing. So we may check that out. But first I want to just kind of go through a couple things. We're going to, obviously, go into Reddit and look at true crime cases. And that's where I get basically all my stuff. So yeah, change something here actually. Looks like there is a... Okay, whatever. Alright, so first I just want to show you something here on the back end about kind of what we're doing here. What I'm doing here. Let me see here. My drive. Let's see here. So these are just some... Basically everything's on my Google Drive here. So I want to show you actually the... Oh shit, is it not in? Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. So on the back end, I want to show you for my last documentary, Collision of Silence. Link down below. Let me see. So that's a script. I want to show you the notes. Let's see where trailer is that it there? Notes. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. This is the notes here. So this is basically what I do. I find a case, and we like to cover cases that aren't covered a million times. So we can really focus on the victims, and cases that aren't as popular, or not popular, but as out there in the mainstream, just because we want to tell the stories of people that haven't had their story told. Focus on the people that victims and families and stuff, which is exactly what I did with Collision of Silence. basically the whole Deidre Weeks family contacted me, her mom, her cousins, her sister, brother, all that. And they were basically saying how appreciative they were. And that really drove me to do this, to really drive harder. So that's why we're going to be doing a lot more here on the staircase. So be sure to hit subscribe and like. So this is the back end here. I file FOIA requests and I go through all of the police records, police reports, and I basically take bits of it and make notes. My notes, and then from the notes I go and do the script, and of course I record and post and all that. So this is and then of course this part here, the scan, that means the page it was on. So this is my notes for one case, and I believe it's about 11,000 words if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. I'm just curious to see how much, let's see, view. I don't even know. Word count, there we go. Yep. 8,000, okay, 8,000 words. And then I take, from the notes, I go and make the script. We're gonna get into the stuff here. I just want to kind of lay some groundwork to show you what we're doing here. Let me see. Where is it? There we go. Script. And this is the script. This is what we do here. All this. Of course, links is still going here, folks. Of course, the sources and all that. And then the way I type stuff out. This, I believe, is the 11,000, right? Oh, 13. Okay, minus the links and all. It's about 11,000. All right, so yeah, that's that. And then I also have my tracker here, FOIA request tracker. Just the cases I can, which we'll probably do a FOIA request. It's just to keep track of it, because if they don't respond in a certain time, depending on the law, you can file a lawsuit, etc. Check in, yada yada yada. So, yeah, that's about it for that. And this is the case. Katie Janness is the case I wanted to look into. Excuse me. So first off, let's just go through. What the fuck is this? God, you gotta love Reddit, dude. This is so annoying. They're showing me. I checked like one wrestling thing when I was logged in, and it's just showing me non-stop wrestling stuff. Oh right, shoot. I went to the chat is disabled for some reason. Let me see if I can go in and change that really quick. Really freaking stupid. Let's see. So how do you I should have did this. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a moment. I'm gonna jump out. Alright, you know what? This is stupid. I don't know why, but it's disabled. Maybe because of the content we make, but we'll figure that out later. Alright, whatever. Let's get back to it here. Let's see what we can find. Oh, shit. Okay. Who is he? I keep seeing on Facebook Reels that he died by self-deletion. I don't know his name, or username, or how he did it. Okay, whatever. I'm trying to find some good stuff here for the next film. You know what? There is actually some saved stuff I have. Let me see. Profile saved. Alright, you know what? Let's just jump right into the Katie Janness story. Alright, so this is actually a really, really disturbing case. So basically this girl was killed. I purposely didn't look too much into this because I really wanted to do this kind of live. So this case here, this is a really good update. We're going to go through it here. Murder of Katie Janness and her dog Bowie. ADP update 6/16. I posted about this case many times. In my opinion, murder and their dog Bowie is one of the most disturbing and terrifying unsolved cases in recent memory. The severity... Yeah, let me take these off. I don't need them right now. The severity and personal nature of the attack. This definitely looks like a hate crime. The narrow time frame and little to no info released regarding suspects is terrifying. Yesterday around 6/16/25, when I was in the middle of doing another write-up, I checked the Atlanta PD website, and they had just posted an update on Katie and Bowie at 2 p.m. Here's my write-up of the case. There's a lot of really good sleuths on Reddit. I always like to link back to them. Give them credit. Here's my write-up. Catherine, Katie Janness, was 40 years old, a bartender, singer, songwriter, poet, and beloved wife and friend. Known for her creative spirit and gentle nature. Those who knew her described her as truly one of a kind. Let's see. At the time of her death, she had been with her partner, Emma Clark, for 7 years. The couple lived and worked in Midtown Atlanta. They shared a line with 2 pit bulls, Katie, 14-year-old dog, love the old dogs, Tori, and Emma's 3-year-old Bowie. So each dog had a technical owner. Katie and Emma cared for them equally, building a loving shared home centered around music, community, and companionship. So this is Katie here, and that is her partner, Emma. Alright, so as we're going through here, I'm going to just take some notes. I just really want to show you guys how it works and behind the scenes. And I gotta correct. I'll do that later. Correct the name, I spelled it wrong. Okay. So she's 40 years old. You know what? I'm just going to copy this, make it a kind of a bullet point sort of deal. All right. Emma Clark is her partner. Oh, for 7 years. There we go. All right. All right. Whoops. Murder of Katie and Bowie. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Big enough. Alright. Alright. On the night of Tuesday, July 27, 2021, around 11 p.m., Katie took Bowie for a walk through her Midtown Atlanta neighborhood. A routine she had followed, especially after working late shifts. Although Katie had the night off, her partner of 7 years, Emma Clark, was working at Henry's Tavern located nearby. At approximately 11:35 p.m., Katie and Bowie stopped by Henry's to say hello to Emma. During their brief conversation, the two agreed that Katie would return later to walk Emma home after her shift. Emma said she'd text Katie once she was done, and it would be likely within the hour. Katie then left the tavern and resumed her walk with Bowie, heading towards Piedmont Park, a regular and familiar stop on their nightly route, just a few blocks away. So this is the most recent picture, basically, of her and Bowie. I know about this case a little bit before we go on forward. There's some really disturbing stuff, and I say it was a hate crime because she was obviously homosexual, queer, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And she had a LGBTQ tattoo. I don't know exactly where it was, but she was stabbed so many times, and they also stabbed her tattoo directly. I forget, I don't want to misquote it, but a lot. So, I mean, oh, and also I believe they carved something in on her. So that's surveillance footage of Katie and Bowie at 12:09 a.m. heading towards the entrance of Piedmont Park, a block over from this crosswalk. This would be a last known sighting of them alive. It's still unknown what entrance Katie entered through. Police have not released that information. There is a 911 call we're going to listen to. Also surveillance, a short clip that the police released. So we will be checking that out as well. Around 12:20 a.m., Emma finished her shift and texted Katie that she was done. After texts and calls to Katie went unanswered, Emma assumed her phone had died and decided to just walk a few blocks home to their apartment. After arriving home and finding neither Katie nor Bowie neither Katie or Bowie there, and calls and texts still going unanswered, Emma used the Find My Phone feature to check Katie's location. Emma could see it was pinging inside Piedmont Park, but not moving. Concerned, Emma decided to bike the short distance over to the park to see if Katie had maybe dropped her phone on accident. So this is a nice map here. Okay, so the black is where Katie's body was found. And we're also going to look at the Google Earth. Is there coordinates here? I think I actually... No, it's not that. I had it somewhere, the coordinates, because I'd love to pull that up. Where is it here? God, it's so fucked up, man. It's so disgusting. And it's also been up to 25K. We're going to go through all this. Since we're talking about the location, I'd love to look at the exact location. I guess I could just do that. Google Earth is so amazing. It's the most amazing shite ever. Alright, let's see here. Just kind of gets it more personable to see exactly live where it, okay. Alright. Wait a second. That's not, Piedmont Park. That's not the, right location. Oh, see, it's from Jeffrey Hills. Of course. Whoops. I always do that in accident. Okay, let's see here. Alright. You know what? It may be a little difficult. That's such a huge park. I want to see. I saw the coordinates somewhere. Murder coordinates. Yada. Man, that sucks. I wish I had it still written down here. Oh, here we go. Yep, that's exactly what it... This is where I originally saw them from. Solved the case. This is such a great website here. Because it gives you... You know, where it happened. You know, pictures, if they have it. They also have contact information. Somewhere on here. Yeah, right there. So this happened in 2021. Whoops. Hopefully this is the exact coordinates. I don't know if we're gonna be able to... Those are the coordinates, but it's not really... Yeah, we're not gonna be able to see exactly. I'd love to see the entrance. It's a nice little park, man. I wish we had parks like this around here in Florida. Like big places like this. Alright, I didn't expect there to be... Oh, here's the dog park. That's probably exactly where she was. This is probably exactly where she went with all these dogs. To bring her dog, Bowie. Alright, let's see. Yeah, so Rainbow Crossing or surveillance. Henry's Midturn Tavern. That's where, she, her wife, worked. Henry's Midtown Tavern. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's not far at all. Wow. Man, to think you're a few blocks away from where your wife was brutally murdered. God, that's terrible. Alright, let's get back to it. I was hoping we could see right where it is, but because there's no roads, I can't really see. Alright. A little after 1 a.m., Emma arrived on her bicycle at the entrance of Piedmont Park in Charles Allen Drive and 10th Street. Still tracking Katie's phone, which now appeared close, as she entered the park, she noticed a dark figure lying in the street about 50 feet away. As she moved closer, she realized it was their dog, Bowie. Oh my God. The park was dimly lit, but it was clear that he had been severely injured or killed. Panic set in as Emma began scanning the area for Katie. Off to the right, under a tree in some distance, just off the road, she spotted what looked like someone lying on the ground. As she approached, she recognized it was Katie, and nothing could have prepared her for what she saw. Katie had been brutally attacked. She had been stabbed more than 50 times, mutilated, and nearly disemboweled. Emma checked for a pulse, but it was clear Katie was already gone. Fearing for her own life, she ran back towards the entrance while calling 911. Alright, trigger warning, this is the 911 call.
7959, what's the address to your emergency? Atlanta 911, operator 7959, what's the address to your emergency?
Sir, I'm at the entrance of Piedmont Park. I just was searching for my girlfriend's purse because I couldn't find her. She's dead. She's here at Piedmont Park. Please help.
You said somebody's dead at Piedmont Park?
Yes, sir. Please send help.
I don't know how people are
Please.
911
All right,
operators.
yes, ma'am. I'm gonna send help.
I really don't.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right, can I get your name? Get a callback number. All right.
God, this is heartbreaking. This is hard to listen to.
Where's she at in the park?
She was like near the entrance, like I don't know how to explain it. Did you just see that? That's my girlfriend.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Talking to
All
somebody.
right,
Please. Oh my god, dude. She's like she's dead. Like it's so.
all right, I'm about to call Grady, okay?
Please.
That must be Bowie or maybe the other dog.
Grady EMS, what's the address of your emergency?
Hey, Grady, I have one for 1073 Piedmont Avenue Northeast.
You have a call on the line?
Yes, ma'am. Are you still on the line?
She's gone.
Okay, I guess she must have disconnected. She said her girlfriend is dead in the park.
You really have to disconnect your emotions and your human aspect. The whole human aspect if you're a 911
Yeah,
operator.
Piedmont
911.
Park.
It's woo.
Okay,
I can't do it. More power to him. Much respect.
She was saying that she was at the entrance.
Okay, can we get fire and PD? I'm 911.
Yes, ma'am. I already sent them. Thank you, 915.
What's your operator?
7959.
All right, thank you. We'll have up and route.
All right.
Alright, so that's the 911. Let's see. Is there any comments on this? Whoops. That's so annoying. Wow, this is so heartbreaking. Such a brutal way to go. I really hope they solve this and give peace and closure to everyone involved. Who was she talking to in the background? She was questioned alone. Well, that was obviously somebody just walking by because she said, "Look, do you see that? That's my fucking girlfriend." So that was obviously just, you got to remember, that's a park. So it's obviously going to be people around, around there. Are you kidding me? That girlfriend is 1,000%, 10,000, whatever percent guilty. I swear that they can lie better than anyone else. Wow. So they're saying the girlfriend. Why would you say that? I actually want to know. It's an unsolved case, so any outlooks are needed. She absolutely did not. She was verifiably at work. Yeah, see, that's the thing too, because she was pretty sure she was confirmed at work. She's innocent. Why do you think that? And of course, this guy doesn't. Yeah, look at this. I mean, bro, you're not going to give any sort of backup to what you just said. Oh, she's guilty. Okay, why? She's guilty. I hate when people do that. It's just obviously just trying to stir the pot. Look, I love a good conspiracy. As you know, on the channel is a whole playlist of conspiracies you can watch. But some things it is not, it's not a conspiracy. I mean, if you were confirmed at work, maybe you could say she hired somebody, but for what? Was there any life insurance? So I don't think that's it. All right, let's see here. APD does not know the exact time Katie and Bowie died, but have put it between a very narrow 12:20 and 1 a.m. It's probably going to be a little boring for me to take notes, so I'm going to take notes later. It's going to go through the case. Also, I like to really take notes when I have the police files. No disrespect to the OP, but this could be wrong information, like dates or times, stuff happens, so I like to go right from the source. Katie takes Bowie for a nightly walk in Midtown. This is a really good markup. Shout out to Cartgirl69. Really good stuff. Very detailed. Alright, so 11 p.m. Katie takes Bowie for a walk. 11:35, Katie stopped by Henry's Tavern for where girl Emma is working. Agree that Katie will return when Emma done with the shift. Emma says within an hour they will walk home together. Katie and Boy are seen on surveillance walking Rainbow Crosswalk on 10th Street. Last known sighting of them alive, which we'll look at in just a moment. At some point, rather. 12:20-ish. Emma finishes her shift and texts Katie, but gets no reply. Decided to walk home. 12:30, 12:45 a.m. Emma arrives home, and Katie and Bowie are not there. Emma uses Find My Phone, see where she is, not moving. Emma decides to hop on her bike to find Katie. 1 a.m. or a little after, Emma arrives at the park, sees the murdered. Emma calls 911 at 1:10. What we know about the crime. Katie was declared dead at the scene, as well as her dog Bowie. The FBI were called in immediately to help, which is uncommon, for murders in the city. Probably because it's the hate crime aspect, and also how brutal it was. That's why they were probably called in. Oh shit! I just realized I'm gonna have to probably FOIA request the FBI. Ugh, Jesus. FOIA requests. I'll talk about that later, but it's well, I'll get to it later. My spiel about that. Katie was declared dead at the scene, as well as her dog. Okay, an extensive search operation unfolded with help from the FBI and other state partners. Law enforcement combed through Piedmont Park, carefully inspecting the grounds for any potential evidence. Dive teams searched a small lake within the park, I assume in hopes to uncover a weapon or signs that the perpetrator maybe attempted to wash up. May have attempted to wash up after the attack. That's it. That's good thinking. Police also canvassed the surrounding neighborhoods, seeking out clues and revealing footage that shed light on the crime. We know they cut down part of the tree Katie was found near and was taken into evidence. We know they cut down part of the tree Katie was found near and was taken into evidence. Why would they do that? If no, maybe a shell casing, or a bullet. But of course there was no gun used in this, a knife. You know, it's interesting that there is no DNA, I'm assuming, on the body, because this is unsolved. Normally crimes of passion like that, stabbed 50 times, especially on the tattoo, it really stands out to me, because obviously that's a hate crime. The fact that there's no DNA on that, you know, typically when you're stabbing, you're breathing heavy, your adrenaline's going, you're sweating, you know, obviously that's a bunch of DNA, you're... you know, stabbing, maybe spitting on, you go, thrusting. So that's really interesting there was no DNA on that. And again, I'm assuming that, because if there's DNA, they would have got caught. ADP, alongside the FBI and other state partners, held a press conference, which we will watch a few days after Katie's murder. Were brought in immediately within the first few hours due to the unique and highly unusual nature of the crime. Wow. Let's actually watch the whatchamacallit. The crazy thing about this too is that there's no real documentaries on this. There's a few here and there. Okay, they got this. We got some videos to watch here. Oh, wow, another one. Toy Lane. Wow. Alright, let's check this out.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Darren Sherbaum, the interim chief of Atlanta Police
Wow,
Department.
this is
DARINSCHIER.
this is surreal, man.
We appreciate you all being here, and of course, being our
That's
voice
a terrible
back to your
crime.
readers, your viewers. and your listeners. The Atlanta Police Department is committed always to bring justice to families and communities that have been impacted and victimized by a homicide.
Hopefully that's
and we're
loud
here today
enough.
to brief you on 2 of those. And before our homicide commander and our deputy
So
chief
was
of
there
CID
2
comes forward to
murders?
speak to you, I just want to emphasize a couple things. Every homicide is important to this police department. And while we're here today on an anniversary of one in the Midtown community that occurred a year ago, every day since that occurrence, we have been committed to solving that homicide. And we'll speak also on one that occurred 17 months ago, which we will ask for the public's help on, that this police department is committed to bring resolution and closure for the family and healing for the Westwood Terrace community and the Midtown community. There is not a day that we're not committed in solving crimes. You see our clearance rate. You all often report on the times that we bring individuals to justice, and we tell the community and families who was responsible for the damage done. That same commitment, that ability to solve those homicides is applied to every single homicide that occurs in that city, because we know there is a family impacted and we know there is a neighborhood impacted. And so when we look back and say what has occurred for the last 12 months, for the last 17 months, 2 things should never be in doubt: that this department cares and we're committed to solve that homicide, and this department has the capability to solve those homicides. Neither one is lacking in the 2 cases that you were here today. And I'm also mindful there's other families that will not hear their loved one's name today, that are cases that remain open, that this police department is working to solve and ensure that those neighborhoods and those families get the closure and the justice they deserve. So I'm going to bring now to the podium Deputy Chief Hampton, who's the
I
commander of our
wonder if
criminal
those same
investigations division,
families he's
to start the
talking
overview
about
of the 2 cases today.
The other cases are wondering, why aren't you
Good
doing a
afternoon.
press
Deputy
conference
Chief
for
Charles
me
Hampton
or my
Jr.
girl, my
As the
little
chief
girl,
stated,
etc.?
The first case we'll talk about
So
happened
delicate,
on,
man.
February 10th of 2021. And as we approach the beginning of the school year, it's important that we're mindful that our kids are important to us as well. But on that day, a 12-year-old was shot and killed in our city of Atlanta. And we're asking the community.
This
we're
is
asking
2
friends,
for
we're
1,
asking
I
people who we
guess.
believe
Oh, David
has
Mack
information
and
on that
Katie
particular
Janness.
homicide of David Mack to come forward
Oh, okay.
and let us know what happened. We're asking people to call Crime Stoppers where they can remain anonymous. But it's important to us, as Chief Shearbaum stated. Our detectives assigned to the homicide unit.
Mac is a grandson, loved dearly by his grandmother.
No disrespect, no disrespect. Just for the,
that you all are also going to hear about Katie Janness, but before we move to that particular case, we're going to allow you to ask questions if you have questions.
in respect
regarding
to
David Mack.
time, we're going to fast forward a bit.
This was gang related, and was there more than one person involved in the shooting? I understand he was shot multiple times, and I understand beat up as well.
Thank you.
Tips on this case.
I wonder if there's a
And
time.
so
No.
we follow up on every lead that is coming in into this case. We have not at this time identified a suspect. And so everyone, until we can identify a suspect, is still considered a suspect until we can officially rule them out. Most homicide cases, on average, can take up to 147 hours of investigative time. And again, we're 12 months, and we're still working very hard to try to bring closure to this case. Lieutenant Dearlove will go to a little bit more specific. I know we've talked at great lengths about this case. He'll talk about a little bit more detail, and then if there are questions, I'll come back to the podium.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Jermaine Dearlove, Homicide Commander for the Police Department. As Chief Shearbaum and Chief Hampton stated earlier, the Homicide Unit remains committed to solving all open cases. We're going to continue with thorough investigations and pursue all leads available, and work with our community to identify additional leads pertaining to these cases. As Chief Hampton stated earlier, this is the 1-year anniversary of the Piedmont Park case. We understand the frustration
Piedmont Park
and heartache
case,
of
talking
friends
about the
and
one,
family of the victim,
Katie.
and offer my condolences to those members. Our homicide investigators are motivated and committed to resolving and solving this case. To date, we have obtained multiple search warrants in and around the area of the incident location. We continue to conduct tactical canvasses to identify additional individuals or witnesses at or around the incident location, and to also follow up on leads generated. As Chief Hampton stated earlier, the Fulton County DA's office, GBI, and the FBI are working collaboratively with us to assist and offer assistance with the investigation as well. In
I've
addition,
never
we're
dealt
also
with Fulton
receiving
County as
community
far as
assistance through
FOIA
Crime Stoppers,
requests,
who,
so
I'd
I
like
don't
to
know
say,
how
you
they
can
are.
reach at 404
We'll see.
577 tips. You can remain anonymous if you don't want to give your name. We would take any additional assistance as well.
Hopefully they're not like Wood
Chief Hampton
County.
stated that each we have
Sheriff's
hours where,
Department.
that are put into cases.
Garbage.
But I'd also like to say that each
And
case
the
has its own
DOJ
unique
of
qualities,
Wisconsin as well.
whereas
Garbage.
in identifying the suspects, we cannot put a timeline
We'll get to that later in the
on when it
FOIA.
gets resolved.
I talk about that.
We owe the family and friends of Ms. Janness and the effort and resolve to follow through with identifying the suspects. I'm in constant communication with our lead investigators for this case, and they remain committed as the first day they received the case as well. Thank you.
When you say search warrants, are you talking park with the DNA search warrants. Can you elaborate on that?
Search warrants could pertain to so many. There's so many. It was a wide area, so we have many different search warrants as far as like the MARTA bus stations that are in and around the area, the surveillance cameras from businesses that we just have to get search warrants for.
Yeah, there's gotta be surveillance, you would think, man.
They killed there, but they killed somewhere else.
From witness statements and follow-up investigations from the investigators, we do believe
Wild.
that right at the entrance of the park.
Is there anything that points to this being random or someone that she may have been associated with or may have come in contact with at work or anything of that nature?
Again, as I stated earlier, it's still an active case. And it's a case that obviously we don't like to put out too much information here. But it's information, those type of questions are daily questions. We feel that we are still in the right area. We feel like that we are have active leads that is, again, that we will bring a closure to this case. You talked about search warrant. This is a case that's relying heavily on biological evidence, heavily on technology evidence. And those things also take time. Some things are out of our control, and so we have to wait until things come back. And again, that could be data coming back from carriers, phone carriers. But again, I stand here to let you know that we are still.
When was this? 3 years ago. Wow. So it's hard to watch this because they're talking about all these leads and everything, and it's like, well, it's 3 years later, nobody's gotten arrested, so this is really all for nothing. None of these leads you're talking about panned out. Like what? That's insane.
The leads that we're currently following up on, and unfortunately, it's just waiting to something just to break.
Is it frustrating that it's been a year and still no one's in custody in this case hasn't been solved? Is that frustrating for this department?
It's frustrating for any of our open cases. As I stated earlier, these homicide lead detectives, this is personal for them. To stand and call and receive calls from victims' family, and they don't have closure, it is frustrating. But it's frustrating where they stay committed, they stay engaged, it's on their desk, they're still following up. But of course, it's frustrating not to be able to call any family members to say we have someone and we have responsible for the death of your loved one.
Do you still invite themselves actively?
I'm sorry?
Do you still invite them actively for DNA testing, for phone carrier requests to potentially break this case?
Yes.
Regarding the Janness case, was a murder weapon ever found there? And also, was there DNA, a suspect DNA ever recovered from either her body or the dog's?
So, again, questions that obviously a lot of people want to know, and some things, again, I'm just not able to confirm, and I will not confirm at this juncture of the investigation. But again, things that we are still following up on, important things that, again, has kept this case still very active.
Is the public important? Because, Piedmont Park is a large park, it's very open, heavily traffic. Is the public input or tips, leads, is that important? Are you getting anywhere with those?
Yes, I mean, as I stated before, a lot of our cases are solved based on the community and just saying something I saw. A lot of people may think that I just see a big thing, but it could just be something minute. It could just be a color of a car. It could be a figure that went southbound on the street. So all that is important to us because, again, it gives us something to follow up on that eventually helps us break the case. So, yes, it's very important.
What keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? Just not being able to call any family members to say, we got him.
Wow, I just realized, oh, Jesus. I just said, oh my Lanta. I know why the comments are disabled. I'm so stupid. It was, I accidentally checked this is made for kids. Holy shysta. My bad. Set, oh my Lanta. I know why the all right, that's annoying. Let me check something here. Clark, you markup shout. Trying to check something here, y'all. Give me a moment.
That tells us that our job, especially the homicide unit, is not done. So until we can pick up that phone or go to that door and wrap our arms around that loved one and say, our job is done. And now it's up to the courts to do the rest. But that's what keeps the men and women of the homicide unit zeroed in, laser focused, because they know they have a job to do to bring closure to that victim's family. Because again, that's ultimately who's hurting. The pain of to lose a loved one tragically, unexpected. I mean, that's something that's difficult to deal with. And again, the men and women of the homicide unit carry that burden and they try to bring closure for that family.
Chief, there haven't been any similar cases, as far as we know, to the Katie Janness case. Do you think it was somebody who knew her, somebody she was acquainted with, that could get that close to her and her dog?
As I stated earlier,
yeah, that's a good point. Well, I don't know if that was what type of dog she had exactly. It looked almost maybe they talk about it, but to get up close. Well, again, it wasn't a gun; it was a knife, so you have to get pretty close for that.
Suspect identified. And so again, everyone, right now, we're looking at everyone. And then making sure, as Lieutenant Dearlove stated, that we make sure that we're doing a thorough investigation, that we don't rush to judgment, because again, that's what's important. And the minute that we start assuming and rushing, that's when mistakes happen. And then that what prevents us from making that call to the family to say we have the right person.
Has anyone you said you were relying on science and technology. Can you elaborate on that?
Again, as I think I stated the early morning of that case, that was a very gruesome scene. And so, again, there were things that obviously the part of the evidence that was collected was biological in nature. And so, again, that is a science. And that
they
takes
said
time
she was
to
almost
process. And in order to
disemboweled.
provide the investigators leads to and point them in the right direction.
2 questions left.
No.
So disgusting,
A few minutes ago,
man.
the term suspects was used.
So
Is
disgusting.
looking for a single attacker or multiple attackers?
We don't know. So I don't want to say it's singular. Because again, we do not have anyone right now in custody. So I say suspect or suspects to make sure that everyone knows that we're going to look for anyone and make sure that we go after anyone that's responsible. And that could be one individual or multiple people. But again, right now, we don't have it.
Excuse me.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, well, that's that one. I also want to check out these. Yeah, let's see. This is the interview with the partner.
Tonight, only on CBS 46, her partner opening up about the tragedy. In just under an hour, family, friends, and the community will gather to honor Janness.
All of this comes as the search for her.
This video was 4 years
CBS
ago.
46's Haley Mason live in Piedmont
So this
Park,
just,
sitting
like,
down with the victim's
yeah, this just
lifelong
happened
partner.
when they
Haley,
filmed
good
this.
evening.
They called each other wives, Sean. I sat down with Katie's wife as well as her dad to talk about how they want the Midtown bartender to be remembered as creative, funny, and witty. It was her wife that made the terrible discovery that she'd been brutally murdered right here behind me inside of Piedmont Park.
Katie didn't deserve to go through what she did.
Emma Clark tells me it hasn't set in that her life partner, 40-year-old
Man, this is crazy. This probably
Janness,
just
is gone.
happened.
And if I was at home not without her, I missed her even in those times, you know. I always wanted her to be around.
The two doggies.
She was funny.
The one on the
she's
left,
smart.
I believe, is
Emma
Bowie.
says Katie was her favorite person, like her wife, who was talented, big on social justice, and loved to write music. Katie recently wrote this song about social justice. Those fond memories came crashing down early Wednesday morning when Emma made the shocking discovery Katie had been brutally stabbed along with their dog Bowie inside Piedmont Park.
It's really sad for me to lose her, but I can't even imagine how scared she was
Yeah, really.
for that to happen.
Emma tells me Katie was off work that day, but she stopped by Emma's job as a server at Henry's in Midtown to say hi that night.
If she came by with the dog,
Messed up, man.
because if she's out
Disgusting,
with the dog and she's over
man.
there, she'll always come to say hi, lets me see him, and just, you know, check up on me, see how long I was going to be at work. And, you know, I said I love you, be safe, I'll see you later.
She then went to walk their dog and stopped responding. That's when she pinged Katie's phone and it was stagnant in Piedmont.
She didn't answer, and she always answers. So that's when I knew something was really wrong. I called her a bunch of times, she didn't answer. I texted her a bunch, she didn't respond. So I pretty much knew immediately something wasn't right.
Police tell me this surveillance photo of Katie walking her dog was taken about 15 minutes after midnight Wednesday. Less than 1 hour later, they got a call that Katie was found murdered in Piedmont Park.
And she was very confident, she felt safe being in Midtown, and that in her final moments, like, that was taken from her, and that bothers me the most.
After seeing the unthinkable, Emma thanks the community for their support and says this about the person who committed the gruesome crime.
I hope they find them. I hope they get what they deserve, too.
Emma says what has happened is the worst that she could have imagined. She tells me Katie was actually supposed to fly to Michigan to get today to visit her mother. Now a GoFundMe is being set up to help that family bury her. We'll have
God, you gotta do a GoFundMe. Oh, this one here. Yeah, this guy here confesses to killing his parents.
Police arrested 53-year-old Lorenz Krause in upstate New York after he confessed to killing his parents.
To take their lives. One parent, did your mom or your dad more?
Discovered the bodies.
This
of
has
Franz
nothing
and
to do with
Teresa
the
Krause. Take a
Katie
listen.
case, but this is
Did
crazy.
one parent, did your mom or your dad more so than the other ask you to take their lives?
They didn't explicitly say that, but they made it clear that they were going downhill.
When it actually
He
happened,
literally
when your parents
confesses
died,
the
did they know what was
murder
happening
in
to
this
them?
interview.
Oh, yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand?
Well, yes, no one else's.
Right. So they realized what you were doing to them as it happened?
Yes.
They knew that this was it for them, that they were perishing at your hand?
Yes, and it was so quick.
Wow.
How did you do it?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Well, you just told us that
Right.
it was at your hand. Right. Were there drugs involved? Was there suffocation?
What the
You suffocated them. You suffocated your parents.
Yeah.
I can't
was the
talk
best
about
way to their
that.
lives, through suffocation.
I'll admit I killed him, but I can't talk about how. What the hell?
Basically.
Which parent did you suffocate first?
My father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then I finished her.
Now, Krause was arrested in the station parking lot shortly after that interview. The Sun then gave a second interview from jail implying that the alleged murders were mercy killings. Reporter Greg Floyd joined CBS Mornings Plus to break down their conversation from the jailhouse. Take a listen.
God, that's so crazy.
Jailhouse interview. What struck me about this?
Jesus. All right, let's get back to oh, is this the one that we just wow? Oh no, this isn't. Let's check this out real quick.
Piedmont Park. It was my decision to call upon the FBI after having conversations with Chief Hampton on what we had in the park. I called upon the FBI.
God, the audio
one,
sucks.
because they are a strong partner that provides a level of resources that we just don't have. And I did so based on the information that he provided. As the mayor stated, this homicide, this murder was outside the norm of what we would typically see. The mayor stated that many of our homicides that we have in the city of Atlanta was acquaintance. But this was so unique that I felt that we needed to collaborate with as many resources as we possibly can. And therefore, I asked Chief to get in touch with the FBI immediately. The difference in doing so is that we have the ability to get the FBI on the front end as opposed to bringing them in lately. And again, I attribute this to our partnership and the relationship that we have with that agency. And so I'm confident that we're doing everything that we possibly can. I've had conversations with the DA's office and the sheriff's office, and everyone is willing to contribute resources to this. So without going, I'd be remiss if I have to reiterate what the mayor stated about false information. We have to make sure that the information that is going out to the public is factual.
We as the police department and our investigators, we have a duty to abide by the laws of the courts and the rules of evidence. We'll be wrong.
Yeah, saying basically the same stuff. Alrighty. We're obviously not gonna do all of the research in this. We're basically in parts. Just kind of want to do an introduction. I'm also going to be the quality. I know isn't 1080p, although it says it is. I'm gonna figure that out as well. It's my first time doing a live stream in a long time. On the channel, it's my first, but on my other channel, I've done some. So yeah, just stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, man. I'm gonna keep doing these live streams, also other scripted videos, other deep dives, documentaries, etc., shorts, all that. Suffered more than 50 stab wounds, primarily to her face, chest, and torso. Oh yeah, they were the FAT. The letters FAT was carved into her torso, indicating possible intent to deface or send a message. FAT. At least 15 stab wounds to at least 15 stab wounds to her head, including both eyes, reflecting extreme violence. God. Significant mutilation observed to her breast and upper torso, a specific tattoo particularly. Blunt force trauma to her head, neck, and extremities. Separate from the stab wounds. So that means that's not just from the stabbing, that's from beating her. Cause of death, sharp force injuries, manner homicide. Members of both ADP are present for the autopsy. This is the autopsy here. Summary of findings. Injuries to forehead, face, neck, exposing periosteum. What the hell? Periosteum of the skull. Wow. Incising the nasal cartilage. and injuring the buccal mucosa of the upper lip. Mucosa. Look, don't make fun of me, alright? You can't get this stuff right either. Sharp force injuries to the neck. Torso. Incise wounds to each breast. Back. Damaging the lung. Holy crap. Ugh. Jesus, man. This is... Wow. See, this doesn't seem like it's just a random act, man. This really seems like it wasn't, like, targeting. But, I mean, who was she? Did she have a podcast? Was she popular on social media? This is all stuff we're gonna get into over the course of this series. Oh, suspect. My personal opinion. This is all speculation. Okay, let's see. ADP has released no suspects at the time. Hey, remember, this post is from 3-4 months ago. There are many theories on what kind of individual committed this heinous crime in online communities. The most popular theory I see here is that it was likely either a mentally ill person having a psychotic break or a homeless person on drugs. See, I don't know if I quite... See, if it was a hate crime, which to me, that's the first thing that comes to mind, because especially stabbing the tattoo, LGBTQ tattoo. But how would they have known that ahead of time? You know, that's the part that I'm kind of confused on. That's unclear. Some people think it could have been Emma, as police haven't publicly ruled her out as a suspect even after her pleas for them to do so. So she was pleading for them to exclude her as a suspect? In my opinion, and I very much could be wrong, I think it was someone who knew Katie in some way. I do not think it was Emma. The time frame is impossible. Bowie was Emma's dog. She would have never hurt her dog. Oh wow, so Bowie was the girlfriend's dog. God, that's terrible. I believe this was likely done by a man who stalked Katie that night. I lean towards a hate crime, either a man from her or Emma's past. Well, that's interesting. Though the exact nature of the connection, I'm not sure. What's certain is he came prepared to kill and did so with such hatred that it was clear to me it's personal in some capacity. Yeah, I agree. The level of rage and brutality inflicted suggests a deep personal fixation. This wasn't random violence. And for someone to commit such a heinous act and leave the park undetected, that requires some sort of planning, familiarity with the area, and a chilling level of competence. Whoever did this knows how to move through the city in Piedmont Park without drawing attention. Let's see. No similar attacks has occurred in the park or even nationally since. So it wasn't a serial killer. At least it looks like. If this was a random act by a homeless person or someone strung out, we'd certainly know by now. See, that's another thing. If it was somebody drug addicted or someone mentally deranged, they would have absolutely, in my opinion, left behind DNA. So that first part, a man from her or Emma's past, or maybe a woman, I mean, we don't know. You know, a person from their past, like an ex maybe, that's very interesting to me. Which, you know, in that case, they could have a deep hatred, something happened, cheated on, something like that. Bitter ex, you know, whatever. At that point, they could have planned it out. I don't think this was spontaneous, somebody randomly saying, I'm going to kill this person. As far as, like, a, you know, homeless person, drug addict, you know, drug cracked out person, etc. Because, again, they would have left DNA, in my opinion. This was a random act. Okay, we're in that. This was deliberate, intimate, and executed by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. It takes an immense amount of strength to do this in the short time frame he did. Why is it saying he, though? The overkill screams personal. Yeah, I agree with that, absolutely. In what capacity, I'm not sure, but this man hated Katie. The ADP hint at the crime being personal. Piedmont Park murder, a familiarity between victim and killer, investigators say. Let's see if we can listen to this. Hey, come on, skip that, baby. Skip that.
New at 5, police say they are close to solving the Piedmont Park stabbing of Katie Janness. Janness and her dog were murdered.
See, I don't know why they do. Oh, we're close. You weren't close. So you just trying to scare the
sources tell Fox
perpetrator,
5 investigators it is unlikely
or just
the
trying to
crime
quiet
was
down the
random.
public.
Fox 5's More Stiggs looks at some of the evidence revealed so far.
The crime so bizarre. It must have been a madman or a psychopath. Well, a former Fulton County prosecutor doesn't think so. Looking at the evidence, he thinks more than likely there was a
Oh, they got little
connection.
pictures of the doggy.
Who killed Katie Janness and why? The brutal stabbing shocked the Midtown community. She'd been walking her dog Bowie,
Oh, come on,
which
man.
the assailant also killed.
We are getting close, in my opinion, as we continue to work leads.
Law enforcement sources tell Fox 5 investigators have a working theory supported by several factors that make it more likely than not there is a personal connection to the crime. For one, the initial reaction of the dog.
It was a pit bull. Now, that's a very loyal, protective breed of dog. To not have the dog engage in some type of protective behavior of its master is interesting, and it certainly moves us away from the stranger on stranger theory of the case. There's some
That's
credence to
interesting,
the
too.
idea that this
It's a good point. I mean,
crime was committed by somebody who's familiar with the deceased and familiar with the deceased dog.
The act was what police call an overkill.
When you see multiple stab wounds, that takes time and that takes emotion, because it's beyond just killing the person. It is a desire to inflict as much possible damage. Leads us to believe that the individual who committed the crime knew the victim.
A word, fat, the derogatory message carved into the victim's torso.
Because after the deceased has already died, somebody's going to take
Fat,
the
that's
time
so
to
interesting.
do that. They're in such an emotional state that they need to send that message. So you've got on one end a
what if
crime
that
of
stands for
extreme passion,
something?
which usually means somebody who's familiar with the victim. And on the other end, what you could have is an extremely dispassionate crime, meaning something you might see from, say, a serial killer.
But Joshi discounts the latter because police have seen no similar attempts since last July. And the former prosecutor believes it says something that APD put out publicly. It believes it's close to resolving the crime. According to Joshi, the message is their likely suspect is not going to try and run. From Midtown, I'm More Stiggs.
Well, obviously that was horseshit because it's still unsolved. You know, I'm thinking we're gonna wrap up the stream here. Let's see. Is this the what is this? I want to see if we can find. There is a short clip I want to show you. The surveillance. Here we go. Can't really see much. I already checked this. I already watched it. So this is the entrance. That's obviously not Katie. Can't really see much here. I mean, there's just some Some people, obviously, no reaction, like they didn't see anything, you know. Yeah. Not much. And we don't know what time. There's no timestamp or anything. Was that before or after? So bad, man. It's a very frightening crime. Strange. Most people commit a crime and want to get the hell away because they don't want to be caught. Why are they insinuating that there's been hints that the suspect stayed in the park after the crime? Why would that happen? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and this is interesting. So the Atlanta police and PETA did a reward. Let's see if we can do a FOIA request. The problem with FOIA requests is that technically, they can redact everything. At the end, oh, you know what? Prime example of that, let me show you something here. I'm gonna just take this off really quick. There's a case that I was looking into, and they actually, that's not right. The police department, the Quincy Police Department in Illinois, this is what they sent back. This is actually in the case of James Scott. It was actually the 1993 flood, the Great Flood is what they call it. Supposedly he purposefully damaged or weakened the levees, and it broke so he can party all weekend to keep his wife away. So he was across the bridge at work. In order for him to come home, she would have to go across the bridge, so he broke the levees, causing this big flood. It caused millions of dollars. Basically, so he can keep partying. Which, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff with this. And this is literally what they sent me. Check this out. Sorry, I had an alert on my watch. Probably gonna take 12. Look at this. I mean, what? This is what they fucking sent me. Almost 90%, I'd say, redacted. It's ridiculous. Look at this. Redacted. I mean, it's almost 90%, I'd say. It's ridiculous. And they said, oh, it's personal information. That's what they said in their little thing. It's so stupid, man. So dumb. Yeah, so they said personal information. So if it's personal information, you know what you do? To protect someone's identity, you remove their identity, their name, their address, their phone number. You leave everything else, you know, the interviews and everything, except the part that has names. It's not that difficult. And what's the, and look how poorly this is done. It's like a picture of a scan. Like, it's so stupid. Obviously, this is somebody else requested this years ago, and they just sent it to me too. But it's a little annoying because what is it? What can we do as independent journalists? Okay, I could cause a stink online. Not really gonna do much. I could file a lawsuit, but it's gonna have to go to court, and of course I can't afford it. I mean, who can afford an attorney and court fees? I mean, come on, man. That's why they do this. They can literally redact so much This in the interest of national security. Oh, it's an ongoing investigation. That's what they did with the Deidre Weeks case. It's ridiculous. Oh, we don't want to affect the case. So providing information of the people you've already interviewed, that's going to damage what? It's ridiculous. And I also filed a request weeks ago with another case of another murder or kidnapping in Boca Raton, the police department there, and I asked for an update. I thought it was 14 calendar days for them to respond. Turns out there's no time limit. There's literally no time limit. And that goes, let me pull this back up here. They can just take as long as they want. Oh, why would they do that? Seriously, it's the federal government, dude. Seriously? Why would they do that? Why would they do anything? They don't like transparency, period. I mean, come on now. Where's the FOIA tracker? Here we go. So, look at this. This is a FOIA request for the Deidre Weeks case almost 1 year ago. Keep in mind, this case is now over 30 years old. Over 30 years. I released a documentary on the 30th anniversary, and that was back in March of this year. I kept sending them emails after emails, and they said, oh, it's in the queue. It's in the queue. It's in the queue. We're backed up. We're backed up. Bro, it's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. And there's zero recourse. Zero recourse I can do. I file a lawsuit. Well, there's no time frame. They can take as long as they want. They can just keep saying, well, they're working on it. They're working on it. It's ridiculous. This is the other Boca Raton case here that I was talking about. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievably ridiculous. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. There we go. Oh. Let's see here. Chat GPT. Well, let me see something here. Alright. Normally I do chat GPT to write up the whatchamacallit. Okay, let's see here. I want everything. Oh, we already got 911, but you know what? We're going to request it anyway. Incident report. We want everything, brother. Body cam. No, I don't need that. Disciplinary files. No. Call for service. No. Accident reports. Crime stats. Don't want that. Incident. CAD. Other. Case number. Obviously. Is it on here? No, it is not on there. Okay. Obviously, we don't have that. Incident date range. When did this happen? Date of July 2021. Type of call. Homicide. Time. I think it was after midnight, right? I'll just do after midnight. Location, that was where is it? Piedmont Park. Phone numbers, call was made from. Oh wait, is this just for? No, okay. I was thinking, is this just for 911 calls? No. Don't know that. Court case pending? No. Okay, so write me a super easy. We don't oh wait a sec. Is this the? That's not the case. Case file. Oh, 1:10 a.m. There we go. I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay. Let's see here. Any information here I need? No. Alright. Crime Stoppers Bolo, which obviously be on the lookout. Alright. Okay, let's just do a FOIA and then we'll wrap up. And of course, you know, updates come in and we're gonna do some more, another live stream. I don't know, maybe this weekend at some point. Just subscribe and like. Let's see. Write me a FOIA request for the unsolved homicide of Katie. Actually, you know what? Maybe, do we even need this? These are past FOIAs I've done. Just to kind of show you. This one was actually denied here. This is actually somebody requested I cover this case, but can't get any information, so you know how that goes. Okay, it goes on 2021. Oh wait, hold on. FOIA request to the, what is it again? What Atlanta Police Department? Atlanta Police Department. 2021 at Piedmont Park. Let's see. Requests. All files, including but not limited to any radio transmissions, 911. We're gonna do 911 calls, even though we already have 911 call, in case other people, like other civilians called in. We're gonna get those as well. Interrogation footage. Crime scene photos. Let's see what else. Detective notes. Let's see what else. There's something else I'm missing. Interrogation footage, crime scene photos, detective notes. That's good enough. Alright. See, you gotta love ChatGPT because it already puts in all that sort of stuff. It's obvious. Like, when they read this, they're like, oh, another ChatGPT person. Whatever, dude. Alright. Yeah, I'm requesting electronic yeah, prefer. No, I'm gonna delete that. That's not really needed. Please release all. Alright, I think we're good on that. I'm gonna change the camera real quick so I can do my other stuff here. Alright. Alrighty. I think that's about it. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill out my FOIA tracker. And of course, they may charge you fees and all that crap. Okay, let's see. Back to the drive. I like to do this because I file a lot of FOIAs, and it just to kind of keep track of it, because again, so I can check in. Okay, this was Atlanta Police Department for. Whoops. I'm gonna copy the name just so I have it spelled correctly. For homicide. When? Today's date. October 4th, 2025. Status. What did I put? Not complete. Yeah, let's keep everything organized and whatnot. Alright. So that's about it, guys. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you watched the live, the few people that checked in, if you're watching this in the after the fact, appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. I really appreciate it, guys. More to come. And again, this may be my next documentary, so be on the lookout for that. If you got any recommendations, drop below. Thank you guys so much. God bless. I'll see you next time.